All right, so in order to solve this problem, I'm going to go ahead and move it down just a little bit. Notice here we have a problem and it tells us to write an equation parallel and perpendicular to the given line. So it gives us an equation on the left and it gives us an ordered pair on the right. So the first thing that we need to do if we want to graph this, right, is we want to convert this to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to go ahead and just put an arrow going over here. And so we are going to convert it. When I say convert it, we're going to rewrite it right quick. So x plus y equals 7. I'm going to go ahead and I want to put it in slope-intercept form, which slope-intercept form means it's going to look like this. Y equals mx plus b. So my goal is to get it like this, so we're going to graph it. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and subtract x from both sides. Now, x minus x is 0, so that cancels that side out. I'm going to bring down the y, and it's equal to negative x, because notice this is a constant and this is a variable, and we can't put the two together. So all I do is simply bring down the variable first, and then the constant, it's a positive 7, I bring it down and put it at the end. That's going to be my y-intercept. And I'm putting plus 7 because it's positive. I know that because there's no negative sign in front of the 7. And so now I have y equals x, negative x plus 7. And we can graph this now. Remember that my slope is the value that's in front of the variable. And in front of this variable, there's an invisible 1. Whenever there's no number in front of the variable, we know that it's 1. So my slope is actually going to be, in other words, my m value, that's my slope, is going to be negative 1 over 1. And that's my rise over my run. And then this 7 right here, that's going to be my y-intercept. So that's what we normally would say is our b value. And it's 7 is the y-intercept. So I'm just pointing out some things just to refresh your memory. Now, knowing this equation right here is really helpful for us because we're going to use this point here to find one that's parallel. Now, we got to remember a couple rules. One of the rules is that when something is parallel, it has the same slope. So I'm going to put parallel. I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little note over here. And I'm going to put M, and we put is the same. So the M is the same, right? In other words, it's going to have a slope of negative 1 over 1. For the perpendicular, now this is a special situation. Let me write the message down here. M is opposite reciprocal. What that means when I say the opposite reciprocal is that, for instance, let me just give you an example. Let's say that I had a slope of 1 over 8. If that was my slope, then what I would do is I would convert it to 8 over 1 and change the sign to negative if it was perpendicular. In other words, it would have a slope of negative 8. So if it was 1 over 8, a positive 1 over 8, I would do the reciprocal, which is to flip the position of the numerator and the denominator, and then change the sign. If it was a negative 8, I would turn it into a fraction, and I would flip it. So instead of 8 over 1, it'd be 1 over 8, and it would turn positive. So anything that's perpendicular has the opposite reciprocal slope. Anything that's parallel has the same slope. Now, since we're going to do parallel first, I'm going to write parallel up here at the top, and we're going to show our work on the right. So I'm going to write right here, parallel, Now there's one more thing that I got to do. I have the slope. If it's parallel, this equation right here had a slope of -1. And if it's a parallel line, it's also going to have a slope of -1. So my m is going to be -1. I'm going to write that right here. M is equal to -1. Now this second point that you see right here, right, this is my ordered pair, because it said write an equation parallel and perpendicular to the given equation. So they gave me this equation, and they gave me an ordered pair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute these values for x and y in what we call the point slope formula. So I'm going to go ahead and label this my x value and label this my y value. Notice I already have my m value. So when I say point slope, we're going to go ahead and write it out. Point slope formula is y minus y1, and that's going to be equal to m times x minus x1, close parenthesis. Now we have all our values. I'm going to box slope so that it doesn't, so that you can see it kind of standing out. And I am going to circle each one of these numbers as I put it into this formula. Now, first of all, I'm just going to write this y right here, y minus. For the y1, I'm actually going to use my y1 value, which is this +2 from my ordered pair. That's why they gave you an ordered pair. So I'm going to put a 2 in there. And then that's equal to. And then for my m, we know it's -1. We found that when we went ahead and took this from standard form and converted to slope-intercept form. So my m is going to be -1. And then we have x minus my x1. And my x1 is -3. Notice anytime I replace a variable with a number, I am putting it in parentheses. Make sure you do that so you don't forget to distribute. So now I'm ready to go to the next step. I've written my values. I got my y value in y1, my x value in my x1, and I have my slope, my m, in the m position. So now we just have to distribute. So when I say distribute, notice there's a negative sign outside of parentheses, and this represents -1, right? There's always an invisible 1 outside of a parenthesis as well. So I want you to just remember, if I take -1 and multiply it to +2, it becomes -2. So I'm going to bring down my y. I actually have y minus 2 is equal to. And then I'm going to take this -1 and multiply it to x. So -1 times x just gives me -x. And the other thing you got to remember is when we're looking at this right here, I want you to notice that there are 2 negative signs right here. So a negative and a negative makes this a positive. However, if we take our slope, which is -1, and we multiply it to that +3, it turns it back negative. So it's almost like we did the change for nothing because this slope changes it. So I'm going to go ahead and put -3. So just keep in mind, the only reason this one turned negative was because we distributed this negative, and negative times negative made it a positive. But then we had to distribute this 1 to both terms on the inside. Because anytime we have a number on the outside of the parentheses, it must be distributed to both items on the inside. So a lot of changes going on. Now we're not done yet, right? Because we need to make this like slope-intercept form. We need to make it look like this: y equals mx plus b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start combining some terms. I need to move this 2 away from my y. So it's a -2, right? And we always do inverse operations when we want to move something to the other side of the equal sign. So instead of subtracting 2, I'm going to add 2. That allows these 2's to cancel. And I also got to add 2 to this side over here. Now when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring down my y value, my equal sign. I'm going to bring down my negative x, which is my slope. Notice that it is the same as what we had in the other equation. And then negative 3 plus 2. Right? And we can always use the calculator to do our integers. So if I went over here and I said, well, I have a negative 3 right? And then I'm adding 2 to it. And notice it's going to give me a negative 1. So this right here becomes a negative 1. I'm going to box it. And that's my new equation. So very similar to this one, we have y equals negative x plus 7. And here we have y equals negative x minus 1. So they should be parallel. And they both grow through this point, negative 3, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type that in real quick just so you can see it graphed. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Now when I graph it, I'm going to put y is equal to negative x plus 7. So you can see my one line right there. And then I'm going to graph my second line. And I'm going to go ahead and put in y equals negative x minus 1. So you can see there, those are my two equations that we just made. They are parallel. So now you can see that both lines are parallel to each other in the graph. And you could use a different type of calculator. I just use Desmos because I'm making this video on my computer. But also I want to mention that the second line that we graphed, the new one, right, y equals negative x minus 1, you can see that it does go through the point negative 3, 2. Right, so if I come right here, notice right, if I go over 1, right here, this is negative 3, 2. You can see it, or negative 3, 2, which is what they wanted. They want you to write an equation that was parallel to the given equation. And they gave this ordered pair so that you would know what point it went through as well. So now let's go ahead and find the one that's perpendicular. And you're going to see how it looks quite different. So that was the parallel. Let me go ahead and just close it off. And now I'm going to write perpendicular. Now the good thing about it is whoever gave you this problem gave you one that was negative 1 over 1, right? Which it's real easy to make the opposite reciprocal of it. So let's write what that would look like. Let's write a couple things. Now first thing all, let's write our point that it's going to go through. It's going to go through point negative 3, 2. So nothing's changing there. We have negative 3, 2. Right? That's my x value that I'm going to use in my formula. That is my y value. Now what changes is the slope, is m, right? Because notice our original slope was negative 1 over 1. So it's negative 1 over 1. But remember, we have to do the opposite reciprocal. So we have to have a change of sign. Since this sign is negative, we got to change it to a positive. And the reciprocal is easy because they're the same number, right? In other words, it's still going to be 1 over 1. So in this case, my m value is just going to be positive 1. Because positive 1 over 1, if I put that in the calculator, it just turns into 1. Because 1 can go into 1 one time. So I have my slope of positive 1, and I have my ordered pair that it passes through, which is negative 3, 2. And that's all I need is an x, y, and m value to use the point slope formula. So I'm going to rewrite my point slope formula right here. So I got y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So we're going to go ahead and substitute the numbers real quick. I'm going to circle them as I place them. So for instance, this is going to be y minus, and my y1 value is going to be a positive 2. That's the value out of my ordered pair. And that's going to be equal to my m value, which is positive 1, because this is a perpendicular line. So the slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal of what we had. So I'm going to put a positive 1. And then we have our x minus our x1. And my x1 value is my x value for my ordered pair. So it is going to be negative 3. All right, so we're almost done. Close parenthesis. And now we just got to do some distributive property. Now, it might not have been as clear as what happened up here. I realize that. So I'm going to go ahead and just distribute this negative sign before we go any further. So I'll show you what that looks like. For instance, this negative times this negative, right? A negative times a negative turns it into a positive. So that becomes positive 3. Bring down the x. I'm just going to show this extra step a little bit in case this looked confusing. And then I still have y minus, and let's say, right, when we distribute this negative sign, a negative times 2, negative 1 times positive 2 is just going to make that negative 2. Equals, and we still have our slope of positive 1 out here. Now in this case, like in this first one, right, we had a negative slope right here that we distributed to each term. But down here we have a positive slope that we're distributing to each term. So when we distribute this, positive 1 times x, it just simply leaves it as x. And positive 1 times positive 3 just simply leaves it as positive 3. Bring down my y minus 2. The only thing I got left to do is to move my negative 2 over. So I'm going to put plus 2 on both sides. And my final answer is going to be y is equal to x, and 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 5. So notice in our final answer, we now have a slope of 1, right? This is, instead of a negative x like we had over here where the slope was the same, we have a positive x, right? It is the opposite reciprocal of the slope of the original equation they gave us. But let's go ahead and graph it so that you can see it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to graph y equals x plus 5. We already have the other two lines graphed. Let's add that one. So y equals x plus 5. And you can see the line is a reciprocal. Is a perpendicular line. So notice this line that comes across, it is perpendicular. Now it goes through point negative 3, 2, right? Which is the point that we had right here, negative 3, 2. You can see that over here. But I want you to notice it now has a 90-degree angle. In other words, when we're looking at this, I'm just going to snip the image so I can draw on it, so I can annotate it, right? That what makes it perpendicular is that right here we have a 90-degree angle. I can put a little angle sign, right? This right here is 90 degrees. So this line is perpendicular. This green line that goes back and forth. On here, it said write an equation parallel and perpendicular to the given equation, right? That passes through point negative 3, 2. Okay, my perpendicular equation is y equals x plus 5. My parallel equation is y equals negative x minus 1. So that's a lot of work for one problem, but that is how you do it.